Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV. Hopping the hoops and you know what I'm saying, getting through these extra little traps, slowing down the process today. I got my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
And we have a very special guest today. Very special. Comedian, foodie to the heart. Notice I said to the heart. You know what I'm saying? Man after my own heart. You know what I'm saying? On that foodie side. Getting naked. You know what I'm saying? Heavy.
Hey.
Turn
up King is here.
Y'all see what the fuck going on with these pancake nipples? You see? We flipping, we flapping, we swagged out, we glucked up.
You know what I'm saying? Got naked real fast. You know what I'm saying? Very fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's funny.
So what's up, man? When was the first time you heard hip hop?
Oh my God. Well, I would say in the car on the way up to the cottage, not to sound too much like a white boy. On the way up to the cottage, on the way up to go do some canoeing. No, but funny enough, God bless my father, he was a photographer. And so right now, even in my place, I got shots of B.B. King, Ray Charles, James Brown that he took, black and whites. We always had green rooms in our not green rooms. What's the room when you're developing photos?
Red room.
Yeah. Thinking of the other room.
Yeah, red room.
Yeah.
My bad. Shit. So, you know, some of the shit I'd be listening to growing up was all his music, you know, because he was always driving. My mom was never driving. And some of the jazz that he would play was a little too sounded like, you know, hands like falling over. You know what I mean? Like some of it was just a little too out there for me. But yo, I mean, some of that 50s, 60s type like blues and soul that I was exposed to at a young age is really where, you know, a lot of hip hop originated, right?
Yeah, it's very true.
And you know, I feel like, you know, hearing that and identifying with that from a young age was kind of the first time that I really heard any form of hip hop, you know, because that's where I feel like a lot of it was stemming from. And then just that combined with like, you know, hearing James Brown and just artists talk shit, or even artists talk shit through their instruments. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was a trombone or a fucking trumpet or a sax or a piano, like you can, if you're really into music, you know, like people speak through their instruments. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not hear words, but you can hear pain, or you can hear happiness, or you can hear joy, or whatever it is. And
a song,
you know, I feel
if you had to say a song, what would be a song? Not the precursor.
Well, because that's what I was just about to get into, was just like what was really, you know, at my bar mitzvah, I walked out to a song, Jay-Z and JD, Money Ain't a Thing. That one resonated because I walked out with two girls on each arm, you know, when I was 13. But I remember a huge album to me was, you know, Marshall Mathers' first album, you know, like Purple Pills, when that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that album was big. And I'm just trying to think, like, I think it was, maybe it was, I want to say Black or White by Michael Jackson. Right? Is that hip hop?
Technically, I think Jam would be more.
That's more of a jam. Okay, so fine.
No, Jam. So I'm saying Jam. The song Jam.
Oh, fine, Jam. So it's probably Jam. But like realistically, I'm thinking it's either that or it's a song off of Mace, Harlem World.
Woo. Yo, the Mace era. What? I like that. Has hip hop affected your style at all?
Oh my God, come on. Stop. There's like, you know, the type. I'm like, you know, that Jewish white boy that like grew up with Black friends and always kind of identified with the Black community because, in the Black community, what's real is real. There's no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And in the white community, there's a whole lot of bullshit. And I just love. Huh?
I'll tell you something funny about that. Black people are very accepting too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they get it.
You cool with us? You cool enough with us? Come on, man.
Exactly. And I'm fat and bald, right? So, or sorry, I'm not fat anymore, but I was fat. I was 270 and I was bald, and I was kind of always not picked on, but never really felt like I was invited to the party. And to your point of, as long as you're good money in the sense that you're good energy and you're not, you're not janky or whatever, like, Joe, come on in, come join us, have a good time, and that's what I feel like I really identify with in the Black community is like the realness and the acceptance and the, and the soul, the realness,
There's actually been a lot of Jewish people that's been integrated into hip hop like since the origin. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, I was looking. It's funny. I always let it happen, but I'm going to kick it off today. So Nas was actually discovered by MC Search. I was watching a documentary. The MC Search, not documentary. I was watching Drink Champs. I've seen him in a documentary, but on Drink Champs, he was just being real, saying he didn't just do it just because it was the cool thing to do. He did it because he was of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's who he grew up around. That's what he liked, and he also put on for a lot of Black people, including discovering Nas. But he said, when he met Nas, he knew he was already that guy. He said it was just his job to give him everything to, be in that position. But he said he could spit.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and it's what's real is real. Real recognize real. I remember when I was selling my first food travel show, which is how I got my working papers out here. Mm-hmm. And on God, I don't even need to say his name, but somebody, a Black man in the comedy community that we all and everybody respects, saw my sizzle and was like, yo, this kid's got it, and tried to partner on the show. And they didn't partner with him because I think the production company just wanted to hoard all the money for themselves. Mm-hmm. And this is a big name. So they would have had to brought him in on the back end. But when I heard that, I was like, yo, it meant the world to me. You know what I mean? And it just kind of meant it goes both ways. To your point, Jeremy, is that, Jews recognize extreme talent, whether it be, Black or whatever. And whether it's Black or people, what's real is real. If it's good, people are gonna identify with it. Mm-hmm.
Quick
true is true.
Quick question. This may sound kind of shiesty and unethical.
No, please.
Did you double back around and get with the comedian that or the person that was very big in the business? Trying to see what you can get popping.
That's not shiesty at all, because for real, what's real is I definitely linked up with him. Oh, and that's not shiesty at all. Fuck that. Yo, how's this? Fuck that production company though. They were fucked. Those were the shiesty ones, bro. Those were the ones grabbing. I'm the artist. Protect the artist.
Nah, that's dope. When did you realize you first had a passion for comedy?
I think it was when I was just such a class clown. I have such an unexplainable energy. I pop out of bed every day, get Dr. Wolver on the phone, pop like a colonel, pop out of bed, and I just got this unexplainable energy. And I think that's really what my God-given gift is this energy, And I'm funny and I draw observational humor and experience, like things that actually I experience and I talk about it. But I think it was when being a class clown, that's where it always starts in school, when you have an audience, whether it's 10 kids or even one kid. And then really when I was young in front of my family, when my family would ask me to do, because I would do impersonations of family members when I was young. And then they would request for me to do it. They'd be like, do this one. I would just fucking go in, and just start ripping. Because when you're a kid, bro, you have no conscience. You just say some shit, And I would just, and you know, and as a comedian, Jeremy, and as you know, and I'm sure you know too, you know, you really can't be giving a fuck what people say or think, you know, like you got to polarize your audience, or otherwise you're going to be trying to cater to everybody, which ain't going to work. So I think just like at a young age, being encouraged by like the ones closest to me, like that I was funny, you know, just that grew into having to rely on my character to get girls or to get opportunities or for people to invite me places. It was never my six pack and full head of hair and a big house. You know, it was always, oh, bring Heavy, like, you know, we're going to, you know, like Heavy's going to do some cannonballs or whatever the hell it is, you know? So I think just at a young age, you know, like, especially with sports too, growing up playing hockey or growing up skiing. I mean, could I sound any whiter? Up to the cottage, skiing, hockey. How am I even eligible to talk about hip hop? You know, but you know, in that group setting, you know, I think at a young age.
Mm-hmm. When did you realize you were a foodie? I mean, your food Instagram is like you make me like food that I'm not really even into. I'll be like, how do you make it so seductive? That's crazy.
Well, I'll say this, you know, food is off top a privilege, and you know, may God always provide a food on our plate, water in our glass, and air for us to breathe, and a roof over our head. You know, it's a privilege, bro. I on God, like it is, like it really is, and I feel like a lot of people, especially where there's an abundance of food in North America, be taking it for granted, and I just really, I think, expressed my distaste for my own self and my emotion by you know, doing that, like emotionally eating, you know what I'm saying? And I say, you know, when you're emotional, anything tastes good, you know. So that's it's easy to gain a passion for Twinkies when you're crying about some girl you can't get or whatever, because it just makes it feel better, you know. But I think my true appreciation for food came through my family, you know, family meals, and being Jewish, you know, there's a lot of Jewish food that's nasty, but there's a lot of Jewish food that's good. But I would say it started with family, and friends, you know, friends and family, going over friends' places or whatever. And then really bloomed when I started going to Europe in my late teens and early 20s. But I'll say, coming from Canada, it was beautiful because you would go over to your friend's house and you would be Indian and you would have a home cooked meal. You would go over to your friend's house and it would be Bohemian and you would have a home cooked meal. Or you would go over to your friend's house and it would be Italian or French. And it was just like a cool upbringing in Canada, in the sense that it was very multicultural. No one judged you based off the color of your skin or your financial upbringing or like your, you know, how big your bank account was or your how much hair you had. It was just like people are on a real even keel there. So, but definitely family, my family. The short answer is family.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm a fellow foodie. You know what I'm saying? I used to go hard. It was and it's a trip. I forget sometimes how privileged I've been to travel a little bit. And I was speaking to someone and they were telling me about the restaurant Nobu. And they were like, oh, you know, we went there, the food was great or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you know, we stayed at the Nobu Hotel in Manchester. And I was able to eat the buffet breakfast, for like, for a little bit. And I was just like, man, but, yeah, man, a foodie.
Yeah.
I like, there's so many different types of foods. There's just so much stuff. But I'm kind of a particular foodie. Like, I don't go wild with seafood. I don't go wild with cheeses. I don't go wild with any. I'm like very safe, but I like really good food, man. Really
good. It's interesting in the sense that in America, a lot of the food be poison, because they be trying to get you sick so that they can monetize the healthcare system. But if you shop, if it's tough, bro, depending on where you live, it's the access to food and the right food and this, that, and the other. But to your point, bro, it's a privilege. You know, to you reiterating what I was saying, to reiterate what you were saying, like, I don't give a fuck if it's served in a fucking alleyway out a little bucket. It's being, pulled down, like, like on some cinder. What's that movie with the bitch with the hair and they use the hair to climb out the building or whatever? What's that one?
I know the story you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't care if it gets dropped down like that. Just as long as there was love put into it and it's, clean and safe to eat. It's like, it is a privilege.
I'll say this before we go into the next question. I'll say the craziest thing that I've ever seen to eat. I believe I was in Thailand and there was a 7-Eleven that we parked by a 7-Eleven to go, but it was like, it wasn't a very like there wasn't a lot of people where we were. It was like kind of near like a resort kind of area almost, because it was a kind of festival that was on a beach. And I'm always like really late. Like everyone will say like, okay, I'm about to go to 7-Eleven. I'm like, nah, I ain't messing with no 7-Eleven. I'm just gonna wait to go to the room. And then when everybody gets back in the car, I'm like, you know what? Wait 1 sec. And I bounced. So while I was waiting in the van, we were parked next to this little this street vendor. And man, they had the most petrified chicken wings, frog, and some other meat that looked very hard and dry. And I was just like,
chicken feet.
It wasn't even that, man. It was just something that was just like, oh man.
When I was in Thailand, they had this thing called durian. Durian.
I know durian.
Man, that stuff stinks and it tastes worse than it smells. But people swear that's like it's like good fruit or something like that.
You know what's crazy though? It's like we're all a product of our environment in the sense of like, there's some shit called gefilte fish. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all ever had
jokes about
it? But Jeremy, have you ever had it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I used to work at a Jewish restaurant.
Yeah, I hope you're not a fan of it. That'd be a problem if you were.
I don't think it's that bad. It's just not my stuff.
No. That shit is gross, bro. And for anybody who doesn't know, that shit is literally like, I don't even know what it is. It's like, we'll call it like the extra fish. Like, I'm not talking about like, oh, we had an extra fish and we turned it into gefilte fish. I'm talking about like all the parts of the fish. It's like the hot dog of fish.
Yeah.
So they're taking all the shit they don't want. And then they're like mixing it with shit. And then they're like wrapping it in like a saran to turn it into a log. And then they're boiling it so it like sticks together. And then they're slicing it and they're serving it with horseradish.
I just looked at the definition. Gefilte fish is a dish of stewed and baked stuffed fish, fish cakes boiled in a fish, or vegetable.
Dude, what the fuck? This shit sounds disgusting.
But I think you're right. They're not being honest. I think you're right. It's like the hot dog. It's like a hot dog of fish. That's actually a pretty good.
And I remember when they first served it to me, like when I was a kid, it was like. I was like, what the fuck is wrong? I would look at everybody like they were fucking crazy. Like I was like, y'all are disgusting. Looked at all the old people. Like I was like, oh, they've been eating this shit for years. Like put a piece of gefilte fish in front of me now. I'll eat that shit, And like, I bet you people in Thailand or whatever are like, durian's delicious, because they've been eating that shit probably since they were a kid. Like since they were a baby, they'd be like, here, try it. Like, get used to it now because this is literally tastes like shit, So I think that's what's interesting about like world travel and going to new places. Like it's just so foreign. Like I almost just want to try it just to see how bad it tastes to me. You know what I mean? Just to expand my mind and palate. Like as to what the hell it is. The only thing I won't eat though is like piss or shit.
I hope not.
Yeah, no, dead ass. Remember Ace Ventura when they eat the bat shit?
No, guano. That's the only reason why I know.
Oh my god! Is that a real thing?
I mean, I literally all my knowledge.
Huh?
They eat it?
I have no idea.
Guano's a real thing. I don't know about About 8.
But what is guano though?
Oh, it's bad shit.
Oh my God.
So tell
I
me
hope
this.
no one's eating that. I hope no one's eating that after Corona.
When you were in junior high school, what music was popping?
Man, that was like, Diplomats was popping, and Big Pun was big. R.I.P. Big Pun, and I was a big fan of Big L.
Oh,
and
wow.
Nas, like Nas is like, that album dropped.
You already know.
In high school, and all the like the Hard Knock Life, and just a lot of real classics. Like, no disrespect to anybody who's making music now, but when I play shuffle on Spotify, new music, hip hop, I'm like, it's bad.
Nah,
it's really bad.
I'm gonna give you a helpful hint. I have a buddy who's a DJ, and he's around a lot of music, and he's old. He's an old school head, kind of like me or whatever. And so I said to him, I was like, man, like this music today, were we really, was our generation of music really that much better, than what they're doing today? And he was like, well, you have to listen to it different. And I was like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, if you listen to it and you're looking for a beat, a hook, a lyric, or a complete rap, you'll find one of those. But if you're trying to find everything, you're gonna hate the song.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. I agree with that in the sense that, like, I find from those things that you just named of the new music that I'm identifying with most, it's usually the beat.
Yeah.
But it's not the words, because I can't understand most of them, and it's not, and it's not the story that's being told.
If I listen to it and I open myself to one of the four, I can like a good 70%. Something. I can find something.
Also, too, like, as long as if I'm fucked up, it's all incredible.
Well,
that's another thing, like, because do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, if I'm fucked up, I don't need to hear, like, the whole hook and the, you know what I'm saying? It's just mindless music. That's what I find it to be. Mindless. It's truthfully mindless.
It's funny you say that. I watch Noriega sometimes, and one of the things that he says is, because he classifies rappers as different things, and he'll say, like, man, oh, that rapper, he said too many words, man. He was too, he was too like, man, you don't want to think about all that stuff, man. You just want to hear somebody rap, man. And that's,
Well, interestingly enough, I kind of felt like that when, hear me out. So I feel like, so what is it, 2020? I feel like over the past 7-8 years, there's actually been some really good hip hop, like from 2013 to today. Like, there's been some good music that's been dropped, particularly like 3 or 4 years ago, like when Migos was really popping, and but I don't think that sorry, where did this point start from? What were you saying at the beginning? Sorry, I smoked a lot of weed.
You know what? I actually came up with another one, because I just remembered that you said that you came from Canada. How old were you when you came from Canada?
When I moved to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
8 years ago. So I was 27.
Okay, I got a great question for you. Coming from Canada, coming to the United States, what did Drake mean to you when you were in Canada?
I have a narrowed answer on this, because I actually know him and grew up with him.
Okay.
So he actually meant a lot, to me personally. because he was doing it, bro. He was fucking doing it when I was still living in my mom's basement. And, you know, I dropped out of school, was living in my mom's basement, trying to sell my show, and I did. And I remember being in college and like a homie that we grew up with was like showing me his music. And I was like, yo, this shit's like, it was good, you know? And it was like when he was first popping off. And then we would see him touring with Lil Wayne. It was inspiring. It meant a lot to me. And like, you know, interestingly enough, I know that the common perception or opinion of Canadians before he went and got solidified in the US with Lil Wayne was, man, that kid was on Degrassi. Like he didn't mean anything, you know? But at the same time, I think I respected him at 13 when he was on Degrassi because I always wanted to be an actor. So I respected him from a young age. It was just like, you know, don't ask me, bro. Don't ask me because all Canada would just say, "Oh yeah, it was nothing, bro. He was Degrassi kid," and then all of a sudden, da 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 da. But no, bro, he was writing and doing in entertainment since he was 13, and then he got into music, and look what happened, bro. Who just collected the Billboard Award for Artist of the Decade?
Of the decade, yeah. That's
who's renting out the fucking football stadium to blow off some fireworks? You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. One of the things that I've noticed just traveling around the world is that other countries look for acceptance from America in the vein of hip hop, popular music. No, entertain. You're right. No. We're gonna take the paintbrush and just stroke it all across the canvas. And the funny thing is, you know, some of the places that I've gone, I'm like, man, America is never gonna get like what you're doing is dope. You got a lot of enthusiasm behind what you're doing, but Americans do not have the patience to get what you're trying to do. But it is very interesting that you do have a particular artist that will squeeze through and they'll get that acceptance. And then also one of the things that I've seen a lot of artists grow into their own. Like I've seen them when they first started, it was kind of like, and then with the experience, with the passion, with the opportunity, with the right people around them, they actually did turn into like a credible, you know, situation.
Well, I think that like it has a combination to do with a few things. You know, timing is one that's very important. You know, also too, I feel like, you know, who co-signs you is a big deal, right? So if it was Fat Joe co-signing Drake, probably wouldn't have worked out. Nothing against Fat Joe, you know, but at that time, Fat Joe isn't really that hot. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was,
but for Weezy to come out with this Canadian cat and to put the Don, confirm like a Don King perm stamp on him. And then the Canadian cat isn't really whack. It's like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what opened people's ears. And then he actually had bars and could sing, and it kind of led to what it turned into. And I think it was just a combination of right time. There was no artist like that was black and Jewish that could rap and sing that people knew of. He was Canadian, which was like a novelty. He was a nice guy. People already kind of knew him because of Degrassi. Like it was just like, you know.
Hey, quick chime in just to catch up the conversation. I just looked up. It has 8 Jews of rap. I'm just gonna throw a few in there because
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys. That's actually what led me to it, because I was trying to find out if the Beastie Boys were in fact Jewish. But yeah, Beastie Boys. You got Drake, MC Search, Mac Miller, Shine.
But that was a conversion.
Yeah, and Jerry Heller as well.
Jerry Heller, he was the manager though.
Yeah, I mean, he was very influential to the hip hop genre. So you gotta give him Jimmy
God
Iovine.
Bless the dead, man.
Jimmy Iovine. You got Rick Rubin. Yeah, this is they're here.
Shout out to Adam Small. He's a Jewish guy from Detroit who fucking discovered Sweetie. Shout out Brandon Goodman.
Oh, really?
He's a Jew from Detroit who discovered Billie Eilish. And shout out Roger Goodman too.
And
Got a huge
also,
studio, Royal House Studios in Detroit.
okay. And also, real quick, the guano thing, people eating bat shit is not confirmed anywhere fully. Supposedly it was a tourist trick. That's the only place they can relate it to, is it was a way to get tourists to not want to come to like this group of people, but there's no proof of any one culture eating.
That's funny. When you said tourist trick, point. Yeah, when you said tourist trick, I thought you meant like they were like, "Hey, try this like custom dip," and then they just serve them that shit.
I mean, no, not like that. But let's say like, where's this? It appears to say that he's scared. There's a Lindsay Sue, I think it's how it's pronounced. It says he appears. It appears to say that he scared tourists by eating a food prepared to give the appearance of guano. But this is where the rumor comes from. So that's just like when people do the whole the doctors drink the apple juice out of the pea cup. And they'd be like, yeah, so what's wrong with you? You'd be like, yo, you just drink urine. That's pretty much it, And then Ace Ventura made a movie about it. So there you go.
Man, this is off subject a little bit, but yeah, on disgusting things, man. I'll say the disgusting trend of the year, I'll say this year, is when they take somebody and tell them to close their eyes and they stick their finger into something and pull out chocolate, and then they put like a horse in front of them.
Yo, none of that.
Okay.
Fuck all that, bro.
Oh man.
All right, so we got a question. We got a question from the I say the peanut gallery, but that sounds insulting, from the fans. How influential was Russell Peters to Canadian comedy?
So much so, very much so. Also too, it's not when people meet up to the expectation.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and I remember the first time I ever met Russell, was at the Comedy Store. I was excited. He was there. I told him I was Canadian. Literally, first thing he said, I was like, he was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Heavvy. I'm Canadian. I'm a comedian. I'm Canadian." I was like, "I'm just visiting." And he was like, "Hey man, let me buy you a beer." Off rip. And y'all know Russell's, history in the sense that he started on the ones and twos. Russell's DJ and hip hop background and ties go deep, oceanic deep, and
he knows about it.
There's a lot of ties between hip hop and comedy. And I just feel like there are, you got to have swag, bro. You got to have, you can't give a fuck what people think. You got to go out there and you got to rip it for an hour, or people want their money back,
Russell Peters worked with the Pharcyde.
Yeah, bro, he's worked with everybody. He's worked with everybody. And like, I remember because when he really started to pop, when like YouTube started to pop. Remember he had those you know what I'm saying? And he was always an inspiration. I feel like he always deserves more spot time in America.
He gets a lot. No, he gets a lot.
If you go to I just feel like not enough people know about him,
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of a mixed bag because obviously he's famous globally, especially in certain markets, but he's not as appreciated in the world. Yeah, but he's not as appreciated here. When I went overseas, it was so funny because like the people that they respect, of course everybody respects everybody to a certain degree, but Russell Peters is up there. Him, Tom Rhodes.
He sells out the Air Canada Center, which is like the Staples Center, like 2 or 3 nights in a row when he does shows. And like he's probably turning away tickets. Like Russell's a god, bro. Russell sells out like stadiums.
Fun fact: Jim Carrey is also Canadian and a comic as well.
Yes, he is. Although his stand-up was trash.
Yeah, that's kind of true. That's funny. What
I mean, not
was
like
your...
I'm any good, but
Oh man, cut it out. What was your first time doing stand-up? What was it like?
first time doing stand-up was a bringer show. I went against my parents' will, went to New York to do it. Didn't know what a bringer show was. Didn't actually go that poorly. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good start. But I was fucking delusional, bro.
Why didn't your parents want you to go?
Because they were like, yo, start in Toronto. Work your way to New York. Don't go to New York and start there. You're gonna be shitty. And I was like, no, I'm going to New York.
No,
Like I knew something. Yeah. But it was good in the sense that like it propelled me into right into it.
Who was the first comedian that made you say, you know what, I want to do that?
Eddie Murphy.
Damn.
I used to watch Eddie Murphy in his comedies and in his stand-up specials and just be like, man.
What's your favorite stand-up?
His favorite stand-up special or my favorite stand-up comedian?
No, your favorite Eddie Murphy stand-up special.
It was the first one that he did in the red suit. That was Delirious, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Delirious was his first special. Yeah.
Yeah, Delirious. And then what was the one that he did in the purple suit? Which one was that?
Raw. Yeah.
No. The first one, Delirious, bro. When he walks out and just starts doing the fucking iced tea shit, like no, just from off, just that whole thing off rip is just like he's just genius, you know. And then like, man, like I was in such an impressionable stage when like Norbit and Nutty Professor and all these movies came out. He was just a god to me, Eddie Murphy, Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, Chris Farley, Richard Pryor, but he was a little before my time. Like the Waynes, bro.
Yeah.
Like bulletproof. Shit, is someone here? I want to make sure no one's here.
Yeah,
one of my bitches was pulling up. I said, shit, don't make plans with somebody?
Hey.
Okay.
It's all good.
My girls.
Massa.
That was a good one, man. You know what I'm saying? That was a good one. Who are your top three? Your top three comedians in no particular order.
R.I.P. Patrice O'Neil. That's got to be one of them, bro. He was just like not only his material, but just his green room behavior. I want to call like just the way he approached comedy and looked at comedy and was so fearless. So Patrice is up there for me.
Real quick about Patrice O'Neil, I promise you, when I was asking you about comics, I had him in my head, and I was wondering if you knew about him or whatever. I heard about Patrice O'Neil maybe about like 4 years ago.
Oh yeah,
but I kind of looked to other comedians who people say are like kind of a watered down version of him. And so it's funny, on Monday on my way to work, I said, you know what? I'm going to cut the chase. I'm going to listen to the best of Patrice O'Neil, and they're going to, I'm going to get educated in who this guy was. What I learned, I only listened to 15 minutes because I got a phone call and I never went back to it. Not because it was whack or anything like that. But what I learned from him, he had many gifts, but the gift that I saw that he had, he could say very offensive things and not make them sound offensive. And it was very witty comedy, and it was really funny. Like it was, and he really didn't give a fuck. Like he had one joke where he was saying something about messing with like a younger girl or something like that. But it was kind of like he was like 4 years old or something like that, and some high heel stiletto. It was something where it wasn't gross, it wasn't like weirdo comedy or nothing like that, but it was really funny, man. He's definitely a talent that a lot of people, you know, they don't know because he's not. Rest in peace, Patrice O'Neil. But he was really one of the comics that could say offensive things and really be witty and smart about them. And it was comedy because it was funny. It wasn't like, I felt like a lesser comic doing his material, it would just be, it would be like shock comedy. It would just all be like shock. His stuff wasn't shock comedy. It was literally, he would take situations that were shocking and make them very funny. But that's my
well, I think it's because you know, he's explaining the lifestyle and he's showing a reflection of society. You know what I mean? A lot of people will say it with no context, but he would give you so much context to make it, put it on you. But I'll tell you what's crazy is, you know, that a lot of say a lot of comedians are ahead of their time. Patrice was truly ahead of his time in a sense of like, right now, especially online with the way society is, there's this movement called the red pill movement. Anybody who's like online a little too much, you'll find red pill stuff all the time. It's a bunch of guys who come together who pretty much decided that they don't get acknowledged enough by society and they want to kind of form their own rules around dating, around just kind of men backing men.
So this shit is scary, bro. It sounds like a fucking circle jerk.
It is extremist. It's extremist, but a lot of the things that they say was like things that Patrice was preaching. You know what I'm saying? So they'll quote Patrice posthumously. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, a lot of stuff that they'd be like, "Oh man, blah blah blah." It's like they choose Patrice's words as if it was the Bible.
We won't mention his name, but one of your homeboys, he's who kind of made me like look at it, and then I was kind of like,
definitely.
Yeah,
he's definitely of that ilk for sure. For sure. I'll tell you about it later, but call. One of
so I would say, if I was going to answer the next two,
sorry,
it would probably be, I gotta say 4, bro. It would probably be Patrice, and I can't leave Bill Burr off that list. I can't leave Dave Chappelle off that list.
Okay.
And I really can't leave Eddie Murphy. Wait, did I already say Eddie?
Yeah, you got it.
No, so Patrice,
no, he mentioned before.
Patrice, Eddie, Bill, and Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
And then if I had to give a 5th, probably be Richard Pryor.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
One of our listeners wants to know, what do you think of Joey Diaz?
He's fantastic. He is a fucking legend. That guy's funny, bro. Because it's just like, doesn't matter what you look like, what you sound like, what you dress like. What's funny? What's a comedian? Somebody who's supposed to be funny. What's Joey Diaz? Fucking hilarious. You know, certified.
Coco.
Yeah, man, he's a legend. He's one of the best, bro. I think Tony Rock's one of the best.
Tony, you know what? Very, very. I have a
underrated.
I have a.
He's like the Danny Green of comedy.
The Danny Green.
Because he's just like always winning championships. He's so good, but he's like doesn't really get respect that he deserves. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say I have a kill list of people that I've seen visually who killed the most. That don't mean they're my favorite. That just means that literally I'm in the room and I can't even hear myself talk. I can't hear anything because the laughter is so loud. The list is revolving. Fahim. Fahim is not on that list, even though he is a beast. Don't get me wrong. But literally, like, I mean, I would say tied for first before I seen something else, by the way, was to me Tony Rock and Chris D'Elia, believe it or not. Because I mean, it's just I was in the room at the Laugh Factory and I just you could not hear anything. Laughter, just blah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy. But then I seen Dave Chappelle definitely did that. But I have to give it to Chris Rock when I seen him at the Dolby Theater run his special. I've never seen anything like that before or after. It was the biggest experience. And just to verify that I'm not tripping, literally a calendar year before that, almost to the day, I saw him bomb, and he was like one of the worst sets I ever seen. so Chris Rock is on my list for best set and worst set.
Hell yeah. Well, you can't have that good set without the shitty set, right?
Yeah, but they don't want to hear that. They don't know that about us.
I know.
What would your dream versus be?
To watch or to be in?
Oh, well, both now.
To watch, it would probably be Drake versus Pusha T.
Ooh. Ooh. But the Drake would kill Pusha T in a verse.
I know he would. Come on, and then that's why I want to see it. And
no. I am a Pusha T fan right here. I would say
nothing against. I'm not nothing against Pusha T. I just like
Pusha T is better.
I'm thinking about what would really get the streets talking, what would create the most buzz.
Yeah.
You know,
it would create buzz. It would.
I'm trying to think of
if they could go rhyme for rhyme, that would be that song.
But
for song.
That's a battle. That's a battle, which I would say Pusha T would probably win that. But in this versus matchup, I mean, there's no way Pusha T. Love him to death.
Well, in a battle, who knows though?
No way.
Right.
No way. Sorry,
who
he
knows?
couldn't. And I think
Pusha T gets too much credit, bro.
What? Oh, come on, man. Interview over.
No, I know.
You don't get enough credit. Are you serious?
I would
like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I went down these notes written for Drake. Come on, man. Pusha T.
Nah, he didn't.
For everybody.
He ain't ghost. That one came out day one.
How old Pusha T?
He's older than Kanye. Drake exposed that. He's definitely older.
Is he? What is he? 50?
Probably no. He's not.
No, he's not 50.
Are you writing Drake's diss tracks?
Yeah. I am actually. That's not a fact. Wait
I think he's 43.
Whatever happened to Pusha T's brother?
He turned to. I think he became saved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he went. Okay.
Because he went to jail. He went to jail. He got caught up in the game.
Oh.
Yeah, he got. Come on, man. He showed Drake to the heart.
No. I know. I'm
He's trying to go.
He is ripping Pusha.
But this is my question. You know, Pusha T and his brother had a banging album produced by the Neptunes. I forget what it was called. That shit cranked though. There was like
all of his albums were.
Come on, man.
No. The clips. I'm talking about the clips.
Everything they make is produced by the Neptunes. Everything.
How many albums did they make?
No, this. You know what? I'm gonna cut to the chase on this, and not to cut you off, but you can continue after I say what I gotta say. But you're clearly biased with this whole Pusha T thing. You're clearly biased, man, and you're looking for ways to just break this dude down, man. And he's I'm not gonna say song. I'm gonna say written verses. There's not many that could go up against Pusha T.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Pusha T.
Yo, you're funny. Yo, you so candid, bro. So the Clips they had 3 albums, but I'll say 2 had hits and they were mainstream and they were killing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can verify. But yeah, you also have like a compilation of Re-Up Gang and all that stuff. But yeah, and they at least kept having hits. They're pretty consistent. But
they're fantastic. But what my question was is, when the Clips albums were dropping, were either of them was Pusha T the stronger rapper of the duo?
I think he was the more. I would say they both to me were evenly matched. I would just say that a lot of the memorable bars, the quotables,
were more Pusha.
More Pusha T, yeah.
And Pusha had the long hair back then, and his brother had short hair back then, right?
Yeah, bald even.
Were they twins?
Brother was bald.
No. They're not twins, but yeah. But they kind of remind me of
I love them.
I can't
bro.
say that.
They were the best.
They were like a modern version at the time of Mobb Deep to me. But also Pusha T made the McDonald's
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. And
Crazy.
and he made the Arby's We Have the Meats. He created those, but he didn't he got paid off the Arby's one. He didn't get paid off the McDonald's one.
Damn.
We
Man,
double teamed him, Jeremy. We stopped him from putting that disrespect on Pusha T's name.
My
It's
bad.
fine. I mean, it was a good answer to the question, though. It was an amazing answer.
Oh, I never told you who I'd want to rap against. I'd probably want to rap against if I was in a versus maybe Peter Rosenberg or it would have to be like somebody who's not a rapper, because I'm not a rapper, but somebody who knows music, you know, like, or maybe like Andrew Schultz. You know what I mean? Like another white boy who could like maybe have ball. I don't know, like a comedian. I have no idea.
That's a good one.
Definitely not battling Pusha T, though. I'll tell you that much. That'll be over too quick.
I like the fact that you went to Rosenberg. That's actually a good call.
Right?
Like, you know, I mean, especially somebody who talks a lot of shit in hip hop about rappers. It's like, well, let's see how you do in a versus.
Exactly.
That was a good call.
Yeah. But yeah, hip hop and music is so important and such a gift and privilege too. It's like eating, you know, everything you ingest is important. And artists like Big Pun and Big L and Pusha T and Clips and Neptunes and James Brown or fucking BB King or whoever it was, they all kind of contribute to who we become as people. And you best believe I got the spinners on my rotation. You know,
I don't mean to. You could decline this though, but you had a evening with somebody. You rekindled something with somebody recently. If you want to talk about it, I kind of left that off the board. I don't know if you wanted to.
Who?
If not, it's all.
Drizzy?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no rekindling, bro. I'll always love whenever I see him. I see him like I'd say twice a year I run into him, you know, and you got to give it up to him. You know, the guy's a legend. He's my age and he's surpassed, I believe, anything that he thought he could achieve, let alone what his family or the community of Toronto thought he could. I mean, it's pretty inspiring, you know, even if you're not from Toronto. But yeah, bro, always nice to run into a legend, you know, that knows you, you know,
that
like,
part,
that part, right? Because who you like, you know, if you're, exactly. Oh, hey, what's up?
No.
Like,
You just if I say this to him, then he'll get it. He'll know.
Exactly. No. I looked over. He gave me the yo, and I was like, because you know when you know people from before, kind of doesn't you know, and even me, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, I just want to like what's real is real. It's like, yo, how are you? How's your family? Good. I'm doing this. All right, God bless. Wishing you nothing but a continued flourish. You know.
Yeah, because every time
I got his new number, but he hasn't responded to any of the texts.
Hey, you keeping it a G on here.
He reading them, they deliver.
you gonna end up in one of his rhymes.
Exactly.
You know, he's very personal. Like literally, he raps about his whole week.
Love is love, bro. I just send the energy, you know.
Yeah, honestly though, I meant to say this earlier though. Heavvy is one of the most positive people I know. Period. Like he makes me reassess the way I'm like walking through life, and like he'll point out, like literally earlier he was talking about how grateful he is for food, and that's something we take for granted. You know what I mean? Especially here in America, it's like the honest truth. You know what I mean? To be able to just say I'm hungry and then go eat, not have to hunt it or whatever. You know, a lot of countries don't have access like that, but no, he's always doing that. Always. You know, even
it's
like,
easy. It's easy
like you can teach a class on it, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's easy to fall into depression or anxiety or to sulk or to relish in a moment of failure. And ultimately, what's the best thing to do when you fail is just to kind of assess what it is that you can learn from it and to flip it around and let it motivate you to go that much harder on what you believe is your God-given gift. So, you know, everyone successful talks about the fucking failures, turn it into successes or whatever, but you know, food's a privilege. This is a privilege, bro.
Mhm.
You know, and like, I mean, for y'all to have me on, no, I'm just playing. But no, no, to be here though, do you know what I mean? Or to be asked, you know, and to be wanted, to be, because I'm on some shit where it's like, man, fuck reaching. I'm finna collect checks. I ain't chasing them anymore.
Hey.
Bring that
That's
shit to
how-
me.
Any advice as far as weight loss? Because you make weight loss look fun and easy.
Yeah, no, I lost 97 pounds. I would just say, you know, don't diet, continue to indulge, do things, indulge in moderation. Don't eat late at night and read the labels of things. You know, don't drink pop, don't eat too much candy, and stay consistent. And I mean, people always turn to me because they want some secret pill or some secret answer, but it's literally just those things. Drink water, exercise daily, don't eat late at night, don't overeat. If you're going to eat shit, eat it at breakfast because you're going to burn it off by noon. And don't eat dinner too late. And if you're going to have a late night bite, let it be a bowl of cereal or crackers and cheese, not a fucking Big Mac fries and 10 nuggets. Because if you do that while you try to sleep and rest, your body's still going to be awake trying to digest your food. You're not going to rest. You're going to wake up. You're going to eat breakfast again. It's just going to compound. So you got to be sleeping on, like, not an empty stomach, but not a full stomach, you know, and take care of yourself, you know, moisturize when you get out the shower and get glucked out when you can, go swimming when you can, stay swagged up, and read and have a good inner dialogue about your inner self. And even if you have pancake nipples like me, you still shall be able to flourish.
I'm glad Jeremy asked that question though, because it clears something up. Because usually when people have when they're one way and then they kind of caterpillar, butterfly into something else, I've seen people who've lost weight get naked very fast, the way you did. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't wait to pull the shirt, rip the shirt off. Rip the shirt off.
It's like, it's like this is like my new Rolex, you know what I mean? Like, this is like, I own this, you know?
Hey.
I'm on a weight loss journey right now, man. I'm doing cool.
Hell yeah.
I'm seeing some progress. So,
and when you see all the legends when they're on that championship energy, like you see Tupac, he's never wearing a shirt, J.R. Smith's never wearing a shirt. Fuck it. Brett Kreischer's never wearing a shirt. Sometimes I'm going to take my shirt off, you know?
Hey, Heavy joined the list of legends. I take my shirt off and all the hoes start breathing. Hey.
But yeah, like now that I've lost the weight, I am trying to not shred, but more so just be strong, so that I feel comfortable taking off my shirt when I'm in an interview, which is something I wouldn't even thought of, you know, when I was fat, because I would have been worried about, you know, my pancake nipples drooping, you know.
So with that being said, in the next 2 years, from everything that you've seen now, going back a year from now, where do you think social interaction is headed right now?
I pray it's reverting back to what it was before the internet really popped. And when I think about, you know, what's wrong with the world, I think about the internet, and I think about how it robbed us of kind of just humanity and human interaction and just being real, you know. It's tough to have someone interested when they've got 20 matches on Bumble and 20 matches on Raya, 30 matches on Hinge. You got so many options. It's tough to appreciate what's in front of you. And that even goes to maybe what you're eating or what you're driving, or what you're living in, you know, because there's so much information available. People are constantly comparing themselves. And what I hope it reverts back to is just real interaction, you know. And obviously that comes depending on where you go to find it. But I hope that the fear of, you know, polarizing an audience for comedians is, you know, lessened. And I feel like free speech is, you know, endangered right now because of how sensitive people can be. So I just hope that there's a reversion back to an old school, not more like if from a racist or a sexist standpoint, because those old school mentalities are done. You know what I'm saying? But just more so from a personable standpoint. I hope it reverts back to that, because right now, bro, this TikTok shit is sending us to hell. You know?
I just downloaded TikTok on my phone about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Almost to the day. And I haven't watched. I haven't gone on it one time. Not one.
Well, I just feel like it's not.
No, it's a rabbit hole. The most
real
out of TikTok is which I would say is a very successful story, would be a dog face. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, he
that's
did
cool.
thing, you know, changed his life. You know
that's
what I'm saying? Yeah,
but I mean, like all these other 30-year-olds who are on there, like entertaining these 15-year-old kids. I'm just like, that's not me. That's not gonna be me, and it won't be me. And unfortunately, like, you know, I'm not really a musician. If I was, maybe there would be more of a purpose to be on TikTok. I mean, maybe I would let my right-hand man, shout out Nikki Neighbors, like create an account to upload stand-up clips or whatever, just to kind of generate like ROI on the energy and the time put into it. But the last thing you're going to see me is running around on TikTok doing some dance, even if it's not on my account. Like, even if it's on a girl's account, like, no, or a guy, like friend, no.
That's politically correct, you know.
Unless until the TikTok offices brings me in to feature my account to have me just go on rants and shit, then like I'm on
it. So I want to ask you two more things. One, I want you to talk about heavy sets a little bit.
Off top, heavy sets, man. My name's Heavy. Started a show called Heavy Sets 5 years ago with my boy Chris Burns. Shout out Chris Burns. He's an OG in the comedy game, and you know, I'm a stand-up, and I feel like my material actually over this 8 years has really taken a hit because I haven't been on stage as much as I should have been. But heavy sets is strong. It's something I focus on to make money because I need to make money when I'm out here. And you know, it's now how it holds residency at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, the Hollywood Improv, New York as well, New York Comedy Club, and at Gotham. And we're expanding into comedy programming. It's just something that I worked on over 5 years or 6 years that's really starting to come to fruition. And I just feel grateful that I can say people like, you know, Joe Rogan or Adam Sandler or Hannibal Buress have done my show, you know? So it's dope. And I couldn't do it without Chris. I don't think Chris could do it without me. And it's a good partnership that we've built and nurtured over a 5-year period.
Also, real quick, I would like you to talk about pizza.
Oh man. There's some weirdos out in LA that have dogs. I don't know what they're doing to their dogs, truthfully. They almost use their dogs as an excuse not to have an actual real relationship with an actual human being. You know what I'm saying? But I will say, you know, moving out here and not having any work for the first couple of years, not having like a real core group of friends and support system, and being fat and being unhealthy and not taking care of myself, it was important to have a dog. And, you know, it's just, if you're not a dog person, you're a cat person, I feel for you. You know, nothing against cats, but I just feel like there's a lot more to gain by having an actual dog. And, you know, even if you're going to foster a dog or whatever, it is a huge responsibility. But I feel like it's just good training. If you're trying to become a parent, you know, to put something other than yourself first. And that's what a dog teaches you. And I'm grateful to have such a great dog in Pizza.
I just want to say, like, the connection that you and Pizza have, like seeing y'all interact. You know, I'm around a lot of dog people, you know what I'm saying? But you guys are like in sync. And I think one of the most impressive things was I was hanging with Heavy a couple of weeks ago, and we get in the car. It's like, you know, a bunch of us get in the car, and Pizza gets in the front seat and just chills out. You can't even tell a dog is in the car. And I've never seen that before. I've seen people, you know what happens? You see people driving on the highway, you see the dog stick their head out the window, you see
Yeah.
But Pizza, it's like like the connection him and Pizza has, he shows the dog so much like genuine love, and the dog shows it back. It's like I just had to ask. I was just like, "Yo, how do you do this?" You know what I mean? But that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that dogs are a special. They're man's best friend they call it man's best friend for a reason. And there's nothing like having unconditional love, whether you got a fucking hamster at home or a dog or a fish or a cat or whatever the hell it is. And the beautiful thing about animals is that they, it's just such a pure interaction, because they're all so sweet. So I think that, I'm happy that I trained Pizza to be an attack dog as well. So that like, there's the moment where she can switch, just like how I can switch it on, like when I go on stage. But no, I'm just playing. She's not an attack dog.
She's so adorable. It's not gonna imagine
But no. She it's nice to have a dog, and I appreciate you asking about her. She's a sweet dog.
Well, nah, man, Heavy. I wanna. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna ask if y'all had dogs, but.
Oh yeah, I have
Or I don't know where you're at.
I have 3.
Hey.
Yeah, I got 3. They definitely add to my life, man. They definitely add to my life. Oh man.
Oh, we lost him, I guess.
Yeah.
He was about to wrap up anyway.
Yeah. So with that being said, anything you want to shout out, Jeremy? Anything you got coming on?
I just did a couple of podcasts. Check those out. But I think it's more important every Tuesday you're here with us. So.